Are you innocent nudes, dude?
This is the only nudes I want.
This is actually real nice.
This is how you look this good.
You've actually worn that before, but I only really just kind of connected the dots. Maybe because it's like 6 a.m. But here we are, guys, today in the studio again before ThiccBoi has to go to work. Now, Bethesda has got Starfield coming out soon. Apparently coming out soon. It's like Death Stranding. Like, I don't know anything about this game, and there's rumors that it's coming out in fall.
We have a name. That's it. But everyone's getting really excited.
Well, we have seen that, 10-second trailer back in like 2018. So that's all we've seen, and it's literally just the stars showing absolutely nothing. But today,
Could have been Lilac Wars for all we know.
actually, I did do a meme of that.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, there we
That's why it could be.
There we go. Today there is news about it apparently being an exclusive on Xbox and PC. A surprise face.
What?
$7.5 billion.
You're telling me Microsoft spent $7.5 billion on a company to release it on to not release it on PlayStation hardware? We have to unpack this.
That's you like they're using that now.
Yeah, I like unpacking it. This is an unboxing video.
This is an unboxing video.
Yeah, so like and subscribe.
Let's go. Let's jump into it after the goal.
Alright, so
nudes, tell us what you think about this. Well, actually, give us the backstory. So when did this all happen?
You want the background. Sam likes the story. He watches it for the story.
It's good to know the story.
You gotta know the context.
Before you get to the good stuff.
Exactly, like this. So it's no secret that Microsoft purchased Bethesda for $7.5 billion. From my understanding, it's like the largest acquisition in the industry ever.
Well, Insomniac Games was like $229 million. But okay, we're talking about a studio that has a smaller amount of
to contextualize it. Yeah, like we're massive. Talking. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 7. That's 35 times the sum of money.
Are you sure that's even right?
Huh?
Yeah. Sure? Alright, well, comment section, let us know if that's actually
It's
correct.
Approximately anywhere from 22 to 25.
It's approximately.
Yeah, it was 200 goes into 1,000.
Anyway.
5 times.
I think our
and then times 7. Anyway,
let us know in the comment section.
I'm smart, he's not.
Thank you.
They've spent such a large sum of money on this acquisition. And I mean, Insomniac Games are no slouch. Like, they're putting out really 2 Spider-Man games. They've got the new Ratchet. They're putting out content. They're making money for Sony. Yeah. For sure. Way exceeding their investment of $229 million, I would wager.
Big time.
$7.5 billion is a lot of money. And so Microsoft need to get their money back.
Definitely.
The way that they were expected to do that, and it seems like it's the case, is by locking down exclusivity.
Well, it's important to also mention that Phil Spencer, when it originally happened in September of 2020, he was pretty much saying, look, it's a case-by-case basis in terms of what will be exclusive on Xbox and what will not be exclusive and will be on other platforms.
Those cases being when we already have existing contracts with Sony.
Yes, and then he went
and the other cases being when we can do what we want.
When he went on later to say that we have contractual obligations and there's also upholding servers and kind of content from already games that have come out, kind of like Fallout. I think he was also talking about.
Bro, you mean Fallout 76?
Sorry, Fallout 76.
Not Fallout 4.
Sorry,
you mean the big guns.
The big guns. But then, of course, in that same interview, it was like a roundtable. He also said that the idea of buying all Bethesda IP and spending all this money, the main driver was, of course, exclusivity. It's come out today, or yesterday, really. It was the weekend. Today. This is hot off the presses. About 20 hours or so.
Just the editing. We just put so much effort in the editing that it takes sometimes 72 hours to get it out.
Exactly. But we want to do the quiet, my friend. There's actually, the original story started on Twitter from someone reaching out to Jeff Grubb, an industry. I'm actually kind of doing it already for you then. You can just chill back and I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll just sort of chill. I like to watch.
The industry kind of insider, Jeff Grubb, and said, I had a bunch of messages and super chats about Starfield today where people were saying that Jeff Grubb said that it wasn't exclusive or whatever, so I figured I tweet this out and have Jeff clear the air, since it seems what he says gets twisted by people.
LOL.
What he says back, of course, is...
That's how you know it's on the internet.
That's how you know. That's how you clarify when someone's laughing, of course. Jeff Grubb replies, Starfield is exclusive to Xbox and PC, period. This is me confirming that. Now, it's on the internet. It must be true. Let's just say that first and foremost.
Factual.
Xbox has not come out and said, yes, this is actually the case. It's pretty much just him, being an industry insider saying that this is in fact going to be the future of Starfield.
And I mean, this should surprise absolutely nobody.
Well,
it would make so much sense. So, okay, here's my theory.
What's your theory? Yeah.
My theory is that Microsoft are just going out and they're just Netflixing Game Pass.
Yeah, and they're
just laying down, exactly. They're just laying down money. They're just like, yeah, you get a studio, we get a studio, we get a studio.
This is the thing. They're buying so many studios. I think they've bought They've got like 14 studios or something under the umbrella of the Xbox Studios thing or whatever.
Yeah, well, because it's assumed knowledge, or it's known that Game Pass isn't a profitable business model yet. that Microsoft can't be going out there and just paying all these third-party studios these large sums of money to lock down Game Pass. In order to make it a profitable business model, Microsoft need to go out there and they need to get their own studios and they need to Netflix it. They need Microsoft originals, just like Ubisoft. They need originals.
They need originals, man.
So, I mean, it makes so much sense for them to say, hey, we've got Bethesda now, we've spent all this cash, we need to make our money back.
Yeah, I think that, the future, and a lot of people don't like the idea of that, but I do think the future is subscription-based. I do think that it's not going to be a console war, it's going to be an IP exclusivity streaming or just a subscription-based war in the future, and I think Xbox is trying to get ready for that, and I think that, the whole reason they bought this, of course, was to lock down these exclusives. It just doesn't make sense, People that are like, surprise face that we are seeing one of the biggest acquisitions in games and then them not fully capitalizing on it and only putting it on Xbox and PC. Like, what did you expect? They're not winning the console race. It's not like they have, an extra amount of users that they don't need. Every single console that they're selling at the moment is so vital for Xbox because just like the previous, console war of the last generation, they were down 2-1, or if not like 3-1. I think
it was a little bit less than 2-1.
A little
bit more. Like they were doing a bit better than half the sales of Sony. I think what's interesting for me in this circumstance.
What's interesting for you?
Is that Bethesda for me haven't really put anything out that's good since like Skyrim. That's 2011. And I'm talking about Bethesda Softworks.
Comment section is going to say Doom Eternal.
Yeah, Bethesda Softworks. I mean, I feel like since Skyrim, they really Fallout 4 was mixed. Fallout 76 wasn't mixed. It was bad. It was a pretty general consensus. I hear they're turning it around now, but like
it's taken a while.
I am very curious to see if Starfield will deliver. We don't know anything about it. We know that it's a sci-fi RPG.
It's some sort of sci-fi kind of thing,
yeah, it's in space.
It's
in the stars. It's very light fields.
It's very light on the details.
Yeah.
I think that you're right. I think there's definitely a reputation problem with Bethesda. A lot of people don't love what they've done recently. Wolfenstein Youngblood and all this kind of stuff, and Fallout 76. And again, I know that some of them aren't. They're all under the umbrella, of course, of Bethesda, and that's ultimately affected them. I wonder if, with this acquisition with Xbox, we're going to see higher ups from Xbox start getting involved in the actual development of these games, and is that going to, in turn change a lot of the ways that we see these games coming out? The reset button was pressed for Bethesda when they were purchased by Xbox. A lot of people got excited by that because they thought, oh, okay, maybe we're going to see a new Bethesda in the future.
Look, Bethesda Game Studios, the guys who make Skyrim, like the actual developer of Bethesda, they make Fallout. They have a very good reputation that I think may or may not be as deserved as it is today, given their recent releases. As I said, they've only released Fallout 76, Fallout 4, and I can't remember, maybe one other thing since Skyrim in 2011. I'm not saying that this is the case, but I fear that Bethesda might be having their kind of BioWare moment. I feel like they might be this fabled game developer who are known for doing extraordinary work in the early to mid 2000s, and obviously Skyrim was an absolute hit. But all Bethesda's game studios have done for the last 10 years is an okay Fallout game, a really bad Fallout game, and then 37 re-releases of a really good Elder Scrolls game.
Skyrim. Yeah.
So I feel like
so true. And look, I mean, it's
like Guitar Hero, but just one game.
It's important to remember that it is different, of course.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm saying
we're talking purely
the
about
game studios. So look, I don't know. I think Starfield. We don't know. The reality is we don't know anything. About this game. I think it's. Go on.
I was just going to say, I think it's really important that they hit this out of the park because it's going to be one of the first games that we've seen in a long time.
But we haven't seen.
No, what I mean is it's going to be the first game that we've seen in a long time from them that represents what their actual studio is doing at this moment. It's new IP, and it's also under the banner now of Xbox, and it's been enough time since their takeover. It's going to be going over at least a year, if not longer, until the actual game is released, since September of 2020, that they would have had some decent input in this game if Xbox decided to have input. So I wonder if that's going to actually have any real effect here. I don't know. But look, the idea of exclusivity with this, it makes complete sense. It's exactly what I thought.
It's great business.
Look, it is, and like I know people are like, oh, I'm unhappy about that because I have a PlayStation. I understand that, but like the bottom line is Xbox needs to compete. The more that they can compete with PlayStation and keep it competitive, the better it's going to be for us. Because if Sony completely dominates this next generation, it's not going to be good for us because we've already seen them hike prices, you know, all that business, right? We don't want one particular console to be completely crushing the other because it doesn't keep the other one on their toes, you know? So these kinds of things are going to keep them in business, I think. But look, we'll have to see what happens. It's, look, exciting to see what's going to, you know, come from all this. If this is going to be the first exclusive game for Bethesda, I wonder, you know, how it goes is going to be very interesting because they've spent a lot of money on this, and if this doesn't pay off big time,
They need to smash it out of the park.
They need to smash it out of the park big time.
Because otherwise, I'm sorry, but I think Microsoft will have egg on their face.
The what?
Microsoft will have egg on their face.
Oh yes, yeah, okay, yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean?
I didn't hear what you said. That I'm like, what are they gonna have on their face? Okay, yeah, sure.
Eggs.
Anyway, guys, that is it for today. We will see you guys next time. Laymen out.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet things.